Welcome to I Am the Cute One, the most chaotic school dance in the podcast universe.
Listen, you got through the week like we got through 9/11.
And a recession.
And the Special K diet.
And the time that James Franco hosted the Oscars.
And Ben Platt's wig in Dear Evan Hansen.
TGIF.
Hello, I am Donnie and I am the cute one.
And I'm Chelsea and I'm the cute one.
TGIF cuties.
TGIF.
Can I go first, Chelsea? Because I'm annoyed this week and I feel like, let me get it out of my system so that I can have fun the rest of the episode.
Okay,
great. So I went to the urologist this week, and cuties who've been around a while, or at least 5 months, may know in November I had that eye issue where it felt like I was wearing 2 different prescription contacts. I went to the eye doctor. He said, no, everything looks great in terms of eyes. So then I went to the ER. They did a head scan. Everything looks great in my brain.
Which I have follow-up questions with that doctor. Everything.
That's when we should have known the
brain.
healthcare system is a joke. But I went to my mom, who famously has MS. Cuties know. That can be our new merch. My mom has MS.
When we have a live show, she can wear a shirt that says famously has MS.
Oh my God. In the early years before I really had a life, like now I have life experience, you know, divorce, fire in my apartment.
Getting hit by that bicycle.
Yeah, I have my own story to tell. But the first few seasons of auditioning for Big Brother, I milked that. So my mom has MS. She would love if I was on. Didn't get picked. Anyway, so back when that was happening, I talked to my mom famously with MS, and she said she found out she had MS when, not to put her business in the street, but she was having urine problems. So she went to the urologist and they said like, oh, it's MS. So then I was like, oh, I'd never even thought about that. Let me make an appointment with your urologist. Already, the story I'm telling happened in November. They couldn't give me an appointment until March 3rd. Today's my dad's birthday. I have to text him. They couldn't give me an appointment until March 3rd. Already, that's crazy. So I went to the urologist. And if we didn't know by them saying my brain was fine, healthcare in this country is a joke because they made me wait all that time. Chelsea, they didn't test anything. I didn't have to pee in a cup. They didn't do anything like that. No like wires were attached to my pee, nothing. They literally just asked me questions. This could have been a Zoom.
Yeah. What was the end result? Because you were worried you were going to have to pee in a bucket. That was the text I got was, I'm about to pee in a bucket.
So there was a nurse first who like took my weight, took all that kind of stuff. Then a step between a nurse and the doctor, whatever she was the one that was with me the most. And she like asked me my experience with pee, like how long I've noticed this, Do I drink coffee? Do I drink a lot of water? Do I drink whatever?
Did you tell her your strategy in middle school of wearing dark wash jeans so it wouldn't be shown when you pissed yourself every day?
Yes, I told her that. And she just kept trying to like push medicine on me. And I said like, I understand that, but I do feel like it's a Band-Aid because like this has been happening since middle school. I'm 40 years old. Like there is clearly an issue of why. And they just kept saying like, well, some people have overactive bladders, some people whatever. If there's no other symptoms, we're not really worried about it. And I said, well, the reason I'm here is there was other symptoms of MS. And they said, well, MS is not really something we can test for, so we're just going to give you a medicine. Fine.
That's so annoying.
So annoying. I'm very upset. I didn't have to pee in a bucket. Wish I would have. Even if they just threw the bucket into the streets after, at least then it would make me feel like something was being done.
Yeah. Well, I have learned in the future, I've learned from a couple of people who have their own medical stuff going on in my family, what you do when they won't test you is say, can you please document that you denied this request? Because then they have to put it in the chart that you asked for it and they denied it. So if in the future, God forbid, it does turn out you have X, Y, or Z and it could have been prevented or treatable way back when, then you could sue them because they didn't do their job.
Okay, thank you. I need to write that down in the notes app. So that's the bad stuff of the week. Let's shake it off and move on to the good stuff. Meg Thee Stallion was cast in Moulin Rouge as the club owner starting March 24th, which coincidentally is when Kendrick will be here. So we bought tickets immediately.
I love that. That's so fun.
Thank you. Oh, that email you got about tickets, did you respond?
Oh, I haven't checked my email.
Okay.
I need to do that. Cuties, I got an exciting DM that may or may not be real, but somebody offering me Broadway tickets.
No, it's real. I told you.
Well, this is why whenever I talk about thank you, universe, I want more opportunities. You know that I just think people are scamming me all the time. I took too many Clickers Anonymous courses. Now I just assume everybody's out for my birth chart information.
Anyway, Chelsea, I'm in it. We already knew there were signs. Holy, holy, holy. I'm in it. I brought friends to church this week. Now, I will say this. The normal singer of the church is on sabbatical for a month and a half. She's like going to Australia and stuff. Great. Enjoy your time. So she was gone. And then the way they do sermons, the pastor doesn't do it every single week. She like gives other people a try. So my favorite singer that normally performs, and she has like a Broadway past, whatever, she wasn't there. And then the pastor that I really enjoy, that's her words speak to me, she wasn't there. So then I was like, oh my God, we really have the B lineup for this church service. What a one to bring my friends to.
Starting to sound like when somebody first starts dating somebody and then over brunch you're like, oh, show me them. And then your friend is swiping and swiping and swiping and is like, well, hold on one second. These pictures don't show how hot they are. Here, this church service, it's not exactly what I was expecting, but you'll like it.
I didn't say any of that to them because I didn't want to be like, normally it's blacker. So, but that's how I felt. I was like, oh my God, what is this? The lead singer had a guitar. The guy at the piano was wearing a plaid shirt. I was like, what Mumford and Sons is this? So, but then I remembered Mumford and Son of God because they still turned it out, Chelsea. Anthony was the friend that I brought. And after every song, he was like, this sounds like it could be on Grey's Anatomy, which if you knew Anthony and I in 2005, that is a compliment among compliments.
How to save a life, indeed.
We used to drive around in his little Mustang in Shippensburg University listening to the Grey's Anatomy Season 1 soundtrack like it was our own.
Great.
That's it. He had a wonderful time. Then we went to Peach's Prime for brunch. Located in Brooklyn, New York.
Shout out to Peach's Prime.
I loved it. Prime is the prime location, but then they have other Peach's locations and they just name it the street it's on, like Peach's Grand, Peach's whatever. Mm-hmm. But one of them, we were looking at the other location, is named Peach's Lewis, and I want that to be my new drag name. Tanya Sharding Hill. I'm Peach's Lewis.
Was that okay that I posted Tanya Sharding? I realized I didn't ask you permission.
You didn't ask, but that's the thing about Donnie Appreciation Month. As long as it's me, I don't care. You can put my mangina up there. You can put my urology results. As long as I'm getting attention.
You went and saw a urologist, Donnie. This week, I almost shit myself at the bus stop. It's been a while since I've had such a close encounter with shitting my pants. The bus wasn't even here, and I said, I gotta go home for my meeting, because all the other parents were looking. I haven't sprinted that fast, Donnie, since 2010. I went right back to my college days. It was a close call this morning, Donnie.
And you live not close enough to the bus stop for that story to make me comfortable.
I sprinted for a half mile.
Oh, no.
I know. But luckily, I'm here to tell the tale. I made it. We did it, Joe.
Good Lord.
One North Star of this podcast is that every few months, one of us will tell a story about almost shitting our pants.
You know, there's a through line in everything. So let's move to recommendations. I need everyone to stop what they're doing immediately and go to their phone and download the game Episode Reality Star. Chelsea, okay. I don't even think it's fun. I think I'm just addicted. But I am thriving. I almost have my co-star leaving his girlfriend for me. Season 1 of the reality show, they bring on 2 girls, you and someone else, and you have to make a name for yourself, and then the rest, the real cast members, vote at the end of the season who they're going to pick to stay on, you or the other girl.
Oh.
So, spoiler alert, they voted for me to stay. I guess there would be no game if they didn't. So maybe that is because I'm so great. Maybe that's just how the game goes. But they voted for me to stay. But now the other girl got a spin-off by herself.
Oh.
I know.
So who is the real winner?
Exactly. Well, we'll see what the ratings decide. But now the network is making me throw a party to show that I really cement myself in the group. So I'm throwing the first party of the season, but everyone's fighting after that vote. So like this person said he won't come if this one comes. This person said they won't come if this one comes. The last thing I did was have to decide who I'm showing loyalty to.
Whoa.
I know. I didn't pick the guy that I'm sleeping with because he should have loyalty to me no matter what.
Okay.
That's what's in my head.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what the algorithm is going to decide, but I love that for you.
Meanwhile,
I'm playing a game that I don't think I can recommend either because I think, again, do I like it or am I just addicted? But it's kind of like Tetris, but different fruit fall down. And then if you combine like 2 limes, make a grape. Two
Mhm.
grapes make an apple. Two apples make an orange. And I've made it all the way to getting one giant watermelon, but I've never been able to get two watermelons together.
I won exactly one time and never tried again. Just like that game with the numbers where you like put 2 and 2 to 4, 4 and 4 to 8, 8 and 8 to 16. I won once and never went back.
Yeah, I think as soon as I can combine those two watermelons,
Yeah.
I'll be done. Now, I did pay the $5.99 to avoid the ads because I was like, if I'm going to be playing this game so much, I can't be waiting 90 seconds in between each round.
Now, I did say for episode Reality Star, I am not paying real money because there are times when like, just like all those stupid games where it's like, oh my God, make an impression at this party. Do you want to wear a burlap sack for free or the same dress that Anne Hathaway wore in Princess Diaries, but you have to pay $5.99 of your own money? I'm like, no, I'm not.
Well, you know who it's been discovered is behind microtransactions?
Who?
A man that's responsible for a certain list.
Oh my God.
Everything bad in the world goes back to that island.
Except for fake doors. I do I do want to put them in my house.
Fake doors?
Yeah. So if you look at pictures of the island, and this is insidious, it's really disgusting when you look at the real reason. In case the FBI or whatever came, he had all these fake doors painted on the side of the building so that like as SWAT teams were trying to find the real entrance, he would be able to hide whatever he needed to hide. So like in real life, disgusting, terrifying.
Yeah.
In my house, just for fun, whimsical.
Yeah. Is it a fire hazard or is it an escape room every time you're trying to leave? Okay. Well, I recommend the book I read this week was Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. I've been on a real murder mystery kick lately. And I loved the premise of this book because it takes like an old trope and kind of has a fun little spin on it.
Speaking of killing everybody, I decided for Big Brother 40, I'm going to bring some, not a lot, but for people that are kicked out, if they want to play board games, they can. And I'm going to be so jealous that while I'm hosting Big Brother, people will be playing 13 Dead End Drive.
Well, maybe we can get some cameras on it and you can relive the footage later on. My second recommendation is I watched the Netflix comedy special from Marcelo Hernandez from SNL called American Boy. And it was so funny. It was laugh out loud funny. And it was an example of a man who loves and appreciates women and still makes jokes that aren't like, oh, these fucking idiots. Like it was refreshing to hear a perspective of a man appreciating the women that he grew up with, the mom, the sisters that he grew up with, and having commentary on the experience of being a woman from an outsider who was also raised in a very matriarchal family. So I highly recommend.
I'll have to check it out because SNL did what they do so often, and the culture did as well, where like it pushed him as that one character down my throat so much that now I dislike him. I started my journey enjoying him.
Yeah, he's so funny. He talks about how everybody told him he had ADHD. His teachers who didn't even believe in ADHD became believers because of him. But then he told his mom he had ADHD and she didn't let him have ADHD. So he didn't have ADHD. So one more reminder, we are on YouTube. It is Donnie Appreciation Month after all. So can you please rate us 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, hit the bell button on YouTube, hit subscribe, even if you're not a YouTube girly. We're trying to get our numbers up because the more stuff that happens, the more the algorithm notices our show and pumps it out to potential new cuties. And we're trying to grow the show and we've got some exciting things in the works. So we want to get a little bigger before we do those exciting things.
And I really don't ask for much in this world. I just ask for my friends to dedicate a full day to play Big Brother. I ask you to change your default photo to a picture of me. I ask you to buy me new things for my home when I move. If I were to ask you for something, it would be this.
Yeah. He doesn't ask for much.
This week, the internet decided that Jim Carrey was cloned. Punch the Monkey finally stood up to his bullies. Doechii admitted she doesn't like cats. Leah Michelle substitute taught an elementary school class. Pink substituted for the Kelly Clarkson show. The leads of the Life is Strange TV series was cast. Michael B. Jordan and Kerry Russell won very well-deserved SAG awards. Zendaya and Tom Holland possibly got married. And Dairy Queen rolled out chicken tenders with soft-serve dipping sauce, which I'll be trying.
Sure.
Even if I don't eat it together, I feel like it's a cheat on the system because you give me the soft serve dipping sauce and now I get dessert out of it.
So it's just soft serve ice cream that they're saying is dipping sauce?
Yeah, in a little condiment cup.
So it's like a human version of a pup cup.
Yeah.
Like we're just rebranding something we already sell, but we're making it feel special and new.
And why not?
Sure. Woof woof. I want to talk about Scrubs.
No.
What?
No scrubs. Get it?
So, as you know, Scrubs is one of my comfort shows.
Yeah.
I was watching the new season. The revival premiered to the best streaming audience for any comedy episode in more than a year for ABC. There was 11.36 total cross-platform viewers in its first 5 days per Disney. So, I don't know what those numbers mean, but I'm glad that it seems that it did very well because you know that Scrubs is one of my comfort shows. And when I was watching it, Dr. Bald came in and said, "Oh no." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Are you okay?" And I didn't realize, I hadn't put two and two together. I do have certain comfort shows for certain occasions. Like when I'm feeling nostalgic or when I'm like missing my long distance besties, I throw on How I Met Your Mother. Apparently, when I watch Scrubs, shit's bad. And so when he came home and I was watching the new season, he didn't take a good look at the new facelifts and the new veneers we're working with. So he thought it was the old one and he thought something bad was going down. But luckily, no, just a new delightful spin on an old show.
Great. And they do a good job of making it new and old?
So far.
Okay.
So far. Thank you, universe. It's everything I wanted and more. I was so burned from that last season that they presented us that heap of garbage they tried to present as a meal and shove down our throats. I was scorned and I was worried. And it's a delicate dance when you're trying to play into nostalgia, but also have to acknowledge that like the world is a different place than when it first premiered. Very rarely do we get a true good revival and reboot. But they are doing a good job of like hitting the reset button a little bit. So without any spoilers, because this all takes place literally in the first episode, but like JD and Elliot have gotten a divorce. So they are back to having that weird will they, won't they energy. There's cameos that pop up, but there's like a natural reason for JD to be coming back into the hospital, but he hasn't been there the whole time. So there's like new things. Vanessa Bayer is a new character. She's the HR representative. And so when they do the nods and the winks to some of the problematic shit that would go down in previous seasons, now we have her saying, "Stop and think," which is hilarious. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling cautiously optimistic about it. I do think that once again, I'm begging Hollywood, stop with the veneers. Stop with the veneers, because that, if I could give one piece of feedback, I had already seen Turk's veneers. I mean, rivaled only by one Carl Radke, the cake eater. But even Zach Braff, I'm like, how are you going to deliver a line with all those dominoes in your mouth, sir?
I think there are good veneers. Maybe not these men, but there are good veneers out there. I don't have a problem with veneers. As someone who's hated my teeth almost my whole life, get them. If you want them, get them. But make sure they're good ones.
I think good veneers you don't talk about because you don't even necessarily, unless you knew the person before.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to clock veneers.
Agreed.
It should be like, as Dorinda Medley once said, wealth whispers, veneers should whisper.
She got a lot of nerve saying that.
Money talks, wealth whispers is what she said. And she didn't say anything about slurring or yelling or screaming or terrorizing poor Ron on Traders. But I think veneers should be a part of your face and not an accent wall. So that's all.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's a companion piece to what I want to talk about because I want to talk about Scream 7.
Okay.
And that also did very well. In the box office, it brought in $97 million in the opening weekend, which is the franchise's best opening. But then it also brought the franchise as a whole to over $1 billion now. Like all the Scream movies combined have over $1 billion. And I want to start just by saying, I don't want it to get repetitive because even though we're allowed to our feelings, if we say the same thing over and over again, it becomes less of an opinion and it's just less screaming into a microphone every week. So I will try to make this the last time I say it. This is my opinion across the board.
I can't wait to hear where this is going because one thing about us is that we do just repeat ourselves week after week.
I know. I'm just going to say I hate people. And
just blanket statement, I hate people.
I do. And like, if you you don't like something, you can just not watch it. And I know there are people who boycotted this movie. I'm not talking to you. For political reasons, people boycotted this movie. That's your right. I fully understand. But there are people who watched this movie and then said, like, as a true fan of the franchise, anyone that likes Scream 7 is blah, 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 blah. But then opposite, there are people who watched this movie and loved it and said, as a true fan of the franchise, anyone that doesn't love this movie, blah, 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 blah. So, like, can't you just watch something and like it? And if you don't, shut up.
Yeah.
Because as Scream 7 discourse is coming across my timeline, Traitors discourse is still happening. And it's very much like, I can't find anything where people are normal.
No, nobody is normal. And I think that this is a great example of we're perfect, Donnie.
I know.
And we get to scream into the void each and every week, and we get to talk shit about the people talking shit over here and the people talking shit over here, because we're the only right ones talking shit about everybody being insufferable.
But it's tough to be the only right ones. I need someone else at our table, because then we start to look wrong.
We start to look like the people writing the think pieces, because we're having to point out the things that deserve the think piece, which is just have fun.
Okay, really quick. This is about Scream 7. We'll get back to it. But somebody for Vulture wrote an article that said the housewives need to be removed from Traitors. So that is wrong. There is a reason for housewives. But then housewives viewers can't just do what I just did and say that as a blanket statement, end of sentence. So then they need to take it where they take it and say, like, let's do a season of all gamers and a season of all housewives and see which one get more viewers. Okay, but are we talking about more viewers, or are we talking about a better show? Because if you put all housewives in that house, they're not going to be able to finish any competition. They're going to end that season with $5 in that bank.
It's going to be an ultimate girls trip.
Yeah. And then housewives do bring the drama in a way that's necessary. So if you have all gamers, it will just be a season of the challenge.
Yeah, the magic of the show is the melding of different worlds, because then it keeps everybody on their toes. Now, I might play devil's advocate and say, let's do an all season of housewives, because it would force them to have to sink or swim. Like, it would make them have to play, and it might actually make them have that aha moment of like, oh, being cutthroat as a traitor is a good thing. Like, this is different than our show.
And for the people who say that housewives are the problem with it, I want to point out, like, it is just certain housewives. Like, yes, you may think Candace ruined what the show was this season, but Phaedra did not. Phaedra was a perfect cast member, no matter what show she came from. That's what I have to say about nothing that has to talk about my headlines.
No, we will find a way to drag Traitors viewers in some way or another. But I think going back to your original point, yeah, I have no problem with people who boycott something. Or I have a lot of respect for you, Donnie, who you're watching something, and when you stop enjoying it, you say, okay, I'm done. Like, that is a normal response to watching something or consuming something. And, you know, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. So if you want to boycott something, or if this is how you're making your difference of saying, I'm not watching Scream 7 because of these very valid reasons, great. Then that is a way for you to say, I'm not going to be engaging in this discourse. But it's when people tune into something that they know they are morally against, or they are going to be triggered by, or they are simply just not enjoying. That's how I felt about the freaking Love Island fans. I'm like, do you like this show? Or are you being Clockwork Orange and somebody's holding your eyes open and making you watch Two Girls, One Cup? Like, it doesn't seem like you're into it. Why are you watching?
Exactly. The people boycotting, I am also fine with, like, if you're on your high horse to tell me I'm a bad person for watching, I'm okay with that. But it's the people watching and saying, like, this is just so poorly written that if you like it, da 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 da. But then the opposite is saying the same.
This is really shady of me, and I'm so sorry, because usually we don't talk shit about our listeners. I'm about to. And Cutie, if this was you, thank you for your listens, but this was really weird. Do you remember during the Spotify Wrapped? Like, when people are posting like, oh, I listened to your show, you're in my top Spotify Wrapped. There was somebody who tagged us and we were their number one show in Spotify Wrapped. And she tagged us, but she said something like, Chelsea and Donnie, you need to get off of Spotify. Spotify funds this, and this. They're unethical.
Yeah.
First of all, I understand that. Yes, you should avoid Spotify if you can. And also, we're with a network, and also our show is just distributed. We can't really pick and choose. That's not how it works behind the scenes. But also, and I didn't say this, so now I guess I'm just subtweeting them. You posted your Spotify Wrapped where we were the top show and you listened for 1,000 minutes this year, which means you have Spotify. So that's how I feel when somebody watches something to then tell other people, like, well, you're not good people for watching this. You watched it too, bitch.
So all that aside, I want to get into my thoughts on the movie itself. I liked it. I had fun. If I were to rank the movies, it would be 1 and 4 tied for first. Then we have 2, the college one. Then we have 3, the Hollywood one. Then we have 7, this one. 6, the New York one. And 5, the one I hate. Will go to my grave saying I hate it. My tombstone will say, Donnie Hadfield, he hated Scream 5. But I think this one was very fun. The deaths felt fresh. Like in Scream, we are at the 7th one. And a lot of the times we are just watching people being stabbed. And like, yes, there's different ways to stab someone in the gut, slice their throat, in the head, whatever. But this one, I don't want to spoil anything. We were trying new things. And like some of them were very obviously CGI'd. Some of them were like, ew, that's too much for a Scream movie. But we were still trying new things, which I appreciate.
Yeah, you got to keep it fresh.
I liked that. Also, we are at the 7th movie, so we are kind of running out of ideas. And I will say it was like the worst ghost face motive and reveal of all time, where I was like, but it had what I think is the best interpersonal plot of any of the movies, where it's like Sydney's raising her 17-year-old daughter, which is the same age it all started when Sydney was 17. So that is already triggering to Sydney, but she has done such a good job of sheltering her daughter from all of this and protecting her in that way that now the daughter is not protected in a way to like actually fight Ghostface because Sydney has hidden her from it. Whereas like Sydney's daughter's name is Tatum and she doesn't even know like why. She doesn't know who Tatum was and the importance of that was a victim. I could have watched a movie with no kills at all for 2 hours just about that. So like the killings and the Ghostface reveal all felt not important to me. So when there are people who watch Scream 7 and say like, the Ghostface reveal didn't make any sense. Why would you like this movie? I understand it, but that's not what the movie was for me. Also, someone on Twitter said it felt like a stab movie and not a Scream movie. And I do agree with that. I do think we're losing the plot a little bit here, but I also think the world is in a different place and movies are different. And like the tone of the first 2 isn't what the franchise has been for a long time. And like it did feel very different in such a way where like the twins, Mason Gooding and his twin sister, they fit more in this one than I thought they did the last 2. Like I thought the whole cast was insufferable in 5 and 6, but in this one they kind of fit. Also, Gail felt like a parody of herself.
Did she have the bangs?
No, I think it was the best hair she's ever had, but like all of her lines were like, oh, fuck the fuck off, you fucking fuck. Like that. Like we lost the plot here.
I can't wait for the new Scary Movie.
We had a trailer for it before the movie. And it looks, I don't know if it looks good, but I will have a good time during it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have a great time during it. And I think that we need it as kind of a cultural reset because I think it's important to have art that is parody because then it allows us to have an outlet for the commentary and to all acknowledge like when something's gone too far or when we've lost the plot of Scream. And then it allows us as a culture to like reel it back in because now it has been made fun of to the point that like you can't do it seriously anymore because now the joke has become the reference point for the thing.
I like that. Yeah. That's the next thing I wanted to talk about though. The trailer for Scary Movie 6 came out. First thing I noticed was that when they showed Regina Hall, she was in a nurse's uniform with a bob. Anyone that knows that Regina Hall will be Ma.
Don't make me drink alone.
I know. Now, it probably will only be for like 3 lines. I'm sure that's not the plot by any means, but we can hope. But Scary Movie 6, Scream 7, Gail Weathers herself, not Cutie of the Week. My Cutie of the Week, Chelsea, G-O-D, God themselves.
Okay.
So that stands on its own. Holy, holy, holy.
But first, God.
God 101. I'm highlighting them this week because on her podcast, not God's, Candace Cameron's podcast, and she's on season 11. Who knew?
Of her podcast?
Yeah,
Maybe we should start having seasons.
maybe.
This has just been a long 350 episode season.
But I think there's no through line for us.
Yeah, I don't think there's a point to having
No.
seasons. Yeah.
So Candace Cameron's, I will say, I looked because you need to know what you hate, you know? So I
Yeah.
did go back and look, and she does break her seasons up into like topics. So right now, the big like whatever is like purity. And that's like every guest is coming
Of
on to
course
talk
it
about
is.
purity. So
Yeah.
in this week's episode, which was with a former Bachelor contestant, like one of the girls. So why are you talking about purity? Didn't you fuck somebody in a lighthouse or whatever? I don't know.
You know, my algorithm verges on places I shouldn't allow myself to go. The latest thing that I'm seeing is that there was a weasel that there was a weasel that bit through an electrical wire back in 2016, and so they think that we're in a cloned timeline where basically we're running out of plots in the simulation and things have totally gone off course because of this weasel. So when I hear things like Candace Cameron and a former Bachelor contestant on season 11 of her podcast are talking about purity culture, you know, there is some merit to that weasel.
Shut up. Someone else I wanted to say shut up to is Candace Cameron, because on the podcast, season 11, she was talking about purity, and she said she gets uncomfortable having sex because she gets a visual of God watching her. Like, in context, it is still crazy, but in context, she says, like, that's how she was raised, and, like, that's how she was taught sex was bad if you're not in love with someone, whatever. Like, God's watching, whatever. But, number one, honey, baby girl, think of all the porn stars I follow and watch quietly on the train
Right.
car. Think of all the people that are in Beauty and Black. Think of all the people that are on Love Island. If God had their free reign to watch anyone having sex, it would not be your boring ass.
Yeah, very cocky to
Yeah.
assume that you're the headliner there. DJ Tanner, no thank you.
No.
Where do we go from here, you know?
I guess your cutie of the week is a natural choice.
I am reading, well, actually listening to, and I do need to make the distinction, not for the ableist, pretentious swine that like to remind me each and every week that Audible is not reading because you can go fuck yourself. But
My dad does that to my brother-in-law all the time. It pisses me off. My brother-in-law's like, I read a book, and he's like, listen to this.
when's the last time you read a book? Watership Down in 7th grade?
No, Don does read a lot. That's why he does it. But still, like if you read and I listen, we can still have the same fucking conversation about it.
Yes. Anyway, I am listening to, and I'm making the distinction because I recommend listening to this book because of how the author does it. But I'm listening to Dinner for Vampires, which you recommended way back in the
The
day.
audiobook I recommended as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bethany Joy Lentz from One Tree Hill fame. She was Haley Scott back on One Tree Hill. Number one, she has a voice made for audiobooks. She does voice work, and then there are some cameos that are really fun. But this book is bringing me back to my cult days. Not me personally, but you might recall when I was pregnant with Coco and it was August and I was 600 pounds and had to roll places like an Oompa Loompa. All I did was watch cult documentaries that last month of pregnancy. And this is bringing me right back because this is a crazy read. And so I just want to make her my cutie of the week because she's really been through it.
I love that. Now that you are a Survivor girl and you're a cult girl again, you really need to read Parvati's book.
That's on my list.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Chapter 1 starts with, it's like a movie, how it starts, and then we go to other places and then follow back. Starts with her mom and dad escaping the cult and throwing her as an infant out the window so they can run away into the night.
Crazy.
It's so good. But Bethany Joy Lenz, I really liked. You mentioned the cameos. I won't bring them into it. I do need to spoil it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's only the men of One Tree Hill. The women, she does not. I don't even think she mentions them by name.
She does. She mentions them by name. And there is a weird throwaway comment of like, one of the casualties to this is basically like, I was super jealous of Sophia Bush. Like, she mentions them a little bit. And I mean, yes, this is through her lens and
Through her joy lens.
But even with the context, she was obviously a total fucking weirdo on set.
Oh, she was absolutely a weirdo. First of all, the only person she was friends with were the old men. Not like Whitey, but but like Keith and Dan.
Yeah. So I do understand why perhaps she didn't bond as like young 20-somethings as she's
Well, no,
like
they bonded enough to have a 3-season podcast.
I don't think they had the foundation of friendship.
Okay.
And I think that yes, she got out of this cult, but I was perusing her Instagram and I think she's still a little bit of a wackadoodle.
I think so. And I think for those who didn't read or listen, it is a religious cult. And I do think like you may have escaped the part where they take all your money and put it towards building whatever the fuck they build this week. But your beliefs that got you there are still your beliefs, I think.
Yeah, there's a difference between leaving a toxic situation and like deconstructing your faith. And I don't think she has done that.
Yeah.
But that being said, she has been through a lot. And this book is a great way of seeing like the slow burn and like the boiling frog phenomenon of like first it's just Bible study and then you have all your money stolen and you don't have any friends left.
With that said, some of it did sound good. I do love a cult.
You know, you've always said that, and now combined with your Cutie of the Week being G.O.D. and bringing Anthony to church.
There's nothing wrong with bringing a friend to church, first of all.
That's what Joy thought, and then she got brought to that Bible study and see what happened.
And that's everything.
Great. Thanks for being here in our cult.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're the biggest cult leaders of all. Now we just need... I don't ask for much, but Cuties, buy us robes. We will talk to you later. Love you like a sister.
Thank you for listening to I Am the Cute One. If you want more, head to patreon.com/IamTheCuteOne for uncut, unedited, and unhinged video and audio footage of current episodes, as well as even more bonus content.
And if you like what you heard, please be sure to leave a 5-star rating and subscribe to our show. And to help us grow this community of chaotic cuties, share an episode with a friend you think would pass the vibe check.
And to see the madness, check out our YouTube channel, where video footage from all current episodes are posted weekly.
You can follow me at Real Donnywood on Instagram and all other social media platforms.
And if you want more of my personal brand of chaos, check me out at Oh No Chels.
Talk to you later. Love you like a sister.